A strange tale about an abecedarian. Several hundred years ago in a little village named Bingley in Yorkshire, England, there was a little abecedarian. He was having trouble learning the izzard. His teacher kept trying to help him, but he became so frustrated that he absquatulated. As he ran down through the forest on the path back toward his little cottage, a tiny little fly landed on his glabella. It crawled from there into his ear, and he then had a very bad otalgia. He stuck his pollex into his ear and got the fly out on the end of his pollex and put it into his mouth. He shouted out, "That is scrumdiddlyumptious." But as he ran along, suddenly a sockdolager creature jumped in front of him and he stopped. This creature was having great pain in its abomasum. So painful it was that he rolled around on the ground and cried out and made a kerfuffle that attracted other children who came running to see what the pother was all about. Suddenly the creature got dust up its nose, and this caused sternutatory expulsions that caused large stones to be hurled into the air, and these stones hit the church bells in the tower, causing loud tintinnabulation. The people in the church ran out to see what was causing the bells to ring and saw the sockdolager creature having the sternutatory problem as it continued to cause stones to fly up and hit the bell, and the tintinnabulation got louder and louder. Finally, the sockdolager creature stopped having these sternutatory episodes. But the creature was wobbit and just lay there and fell asleep. All the children and people from the church felt sorry for the sockdolager creature and decided to all join together to schlep it over to the river and help it get a drink. When they finally managed to schlep it there, they too were wobbit. They were all so hungry by now that the little abecedarian asked if anyone had any sarmy. One of them said, "I have ogdo ad sarmy." So, they all enjoyed a brief rest and ate the sarmy. Suddenly they all got sleepy and fell asleep, resting their little heads on the soft belly of the sockdolager creature. But then it happened. The sarmies they all had eaten were scrumdiddlyumptious, but also had the amazing effect of causing them to all become noctambulists. As they walked along with their eyes closed, they stumbled into the river, but this did not wake them. But one of the children started to have a nightmare and made a great kerfuffle that woke everyone up. Now they were all so wet that they kept on making a kerfuffle and did it so loudly that the teacher, back at the school, heard and came running from the school to see what the abecedarian and the others were kerfuffling. They were all shivering, for they were all nesh, both the children and the people from the church. The teacher tried to cover them with an antimacassar, but of course it was way too small to cover them all. But she got them all back to the little schoolhouse, and they warmed themselves up by the fireplace. Now she turned to the abecedarian who had earlier absquatulated and pointed to the blackboard and said, "Which is the izzard? Can you tell me which letter it is now?" And the abecedarian said, "Yes, one of the other children told me, It is that letter that looks like it has a top, then an angle line to the left and down, and then a bottom. And the teacher said yes. The other children thought this was all just a bunch of foofarah. Little did they all know that in the future, when computers would be invented, the izzard would be used as a way of creating nagware.